Hello, folks. The CEO of DeVere Group says that the U.S. might buy 300 to 400,000 bitcoins in the upcoming year. Now, DeVere Group is one of the world's largest independent financial consultancies, and they do think this Bitcoin thing is going to be a game changer. They base it on what Cynthia Loomis said. She wants to create a Bitcoin reserve for the US that has around 1 million Bitcoins over 5 years. Now, obviously, it's bolstered by Donald Trump saying that he's going to create a strategic Bitcoin reserve for the United States. We have to understand that the US still owns about 185,000 Bitcoin via Silk Road. Selling that would actually put selling pressure on the market. But if they want to acquire 300 to 400,000 Bitcoins for the reserve, outside of that, they still have to buy somewhere between 115,000 Bitcoins and 225,000 Bitcoins. Now, at 225,000 Bitcoins, let's just say the upper limit, per day, that is like, 700 Bitcoins, and that would put significant pressure. And I do believe with the US buying, I think other countries will actually follow suit. Now, some of you might be saying, well, I don't like the idea that countries will actually buy Bitcoin and control most of the world's money supply. Well, that's kind of what it is right now, and it's not something you can that's not really something you can prevent, because any one nationality, company, any entity could actually buy Bitcoins. And countries buying so much Bitcoin will guarantee that it doesn't fall below a certain price, because if they all have Bitcoin in the reserve as a large part of the reserve, or even as a small part of the reserve, if it falls apart, it's a big loss for the country, though that will settle us in at a much, much lower value. Now, that does actually make Bitcoin part of the big world reserve. So all of you who think your coin's going to be part of the big, world reserve, this would basically negate that. This would entrench Bitcoin's position in crypto for the foreseeable future as probably the number one coin, because not only companies want it to go up, governments want it to go up as well. And, the thing is, like, as Bitcoin is worth more and more by retail speculation, the amount of reserves or cash that governments hold can increase as well. Obviously, even if countries hold like these big reserves, day-to-day movements will still be determined a lot by the investors on the exchange. Because remember, the actual price of the coin reflects what the spot trading price on the exchange. So countries might not like that volatility to their reserve because they can't fully control it. Although controlling a large part of the supply and being able to buy and sell, they can moderate that to a large amount. So if this does happen, eventually, yes, there will be an epic bull run. And that actually makes me not care about anything else. As long as there's like an epic bull run and we can cash out on it, I'm fine with that. If we go up to several $100,000, I could really care less what happens in the future for crypto at this point. But essentially, like in the future, if this actually does happen, we'll have a massive bull run to huge amounts of money just this one time. And then things will definitely settle down and become calmer. And the crypto market, some of these altcoins might actually detach themselves from Bitcoin at that point, because countries will actually be like moderating Bitcoin price for pumps and dumps, and they won't be moderating the altcoins as much. So this is kind of what I want. Like, I think after Bitcoin stops being so volatile, altcoins will kind of shift on their own and not so much depend on Bitcoin anymore, while Bitcoin will hold a lot of the market down and just kind of be like a reserve for countries. Now, people that want to basically beat inflation can still buy into Bitcoin, because I think Bitcoin's price at that point will grow according to inflation. So they can use inflation to actually beat Bitcoin. But those of us that have actually wanted altcoins to actually decouple from Bitcoin, I think that's that chance too. It'll take several years in the process, but this is definitely one of the ways that can actually happen. And obviously, countries will be fighting to buy a little bit more Bitcoin, because whichever country has more reserves of Bitcoin, if it's recognized as like a global reserve, their country's currency will be stronger as well. So essentially, like, it does go into like a geopolitical masterstroke as long as everyone believes in the value of Bitcoin. Now, this would make Michael Saylor really happy and Cynthia Loomis really happy, because they both have a lot of Bitcoin. And I think it would make me pretty happy because I would make a lot of money with SNEC and all that other stuff while Bitcoin went up. And also, B, it would actually give a chance in the future, maybe 3 or 4 years in the future after this buying stops, for other coins to decouple from Bitcoin because countries aren't going to buy the other coins. They just want the Bitcoin reserve. They don't want like 4 or 5 reserves. They just want one. They would decouple from Bitcoin, and like the market can actually mature through that way. So let me know what you think. Like and subscribe. Hit that bell notifications button. Thank you, and have a nice day.